What we do in life echoes in eternity.
Ain't that the truth? Along with my take on the spat, so-called, between Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens. Welcome back. Thanks for stopping by Two Hands and a Foot. We won't tell you who's who. As always, before we get started, go ahead and click that like button, click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't ever miss an episode, and then by all means, comment and share. Now let's get into it. I don't understand something. I know that comes as a shock to a lot of you. What I don't understand is how something can apply to me and not to something else when dealing with the exact same thing. For example, when the rules of a game or the rules of something, such as, say, a potato sack race. You're supposed to get into the potato sack, keep both feet inside of it, hike it up as far as it'll go, and hop all the way to the finish line from start to finish. If I were to get out of that potato sack, I'd be considered cheating and therefore disqualified from the race or not win the race or what have you. But if someone else does it, and it'd be good for them, they're okay to do that. That's not what the rules say. So what am I saying? Just this. If I were to tell the company to which I pay my housing payment that I don't have a plan to pay my housing payment, so therefore I can't pay it. Now this same company knows full well that I owe them tons and tons of money. I haven't made a payment but a couple of times in the last, 10, 15 years. And I have the audacity to say to them, I don't have a plan, therefore I can't pay my housing payment. First off, it would be hard-pressed to get me to that point after, a decade of not making consistent payments or not having a plan to pay and not paying, to that this one time now I can say, hey, still, I can't make the payment. Now, imagine if I were allowed to do that, but with every one of my other bills. So electric, water, you got trash and sewage, homeowners association some people have, your cell phone, your insurance, your vehicle payments. You add all those up and, hey guys, I don't have a plan to pay all these bills. You got to keep them open, you got to keep them running, but I don't have a plan. I haven't paid you in the last 10, 15 years, but a couple of times. You kind of get where I'm going? Yeah, that's exactly what the government does. That's exactly what your government is doing. Now, what happened is late last night, they were able to get past a continuing resolution in 2 steps. So every year the government has 12 bills they gotta pay. 12 utility bills, all those, just 12 bills. They have all these little things inside those 12 bills, but 12 bills. And about a week and a half ago, the plan was, hey, how about, instead of just trying to get all those 12 bills done at once, which is by September 30th, how about we do it 12 different separate times? That was chaos as it is. But they didn't do that, thankfully. But what they did this time was, instead of just, pushing all 12 to another date in the future, they pushed it into 2 separate dates in the future. So my question then becomes, so you can't pay your bills on time and make a plan on time once. Now you're going to separate some bills, and now you're not going to be able to pay your bills or have a plan to pay your bills twice. doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Plus, a continuing resolution, it just keeps pushing back the inevitable. So much debt we have in this nation, it's ridiculous. Because we're not managing our spending. Now, if you or I were to do this, we'd be out of a house. We'd be out of a car. We'd be on the street with no power, no electricity, no, our phone wouldn't work. We'd be done and over with in a matter of a month and a half, maybe. We could maybe possibly get an extension for a month or a hardship deal or what have you. But for decades upon decades, we've been able to get this done in the last 50 years only 4 times. That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts. That is an absolute show of a lack of ability to manage something. It's a budget. If you don't have the money, don't spend it. And then you push things off because you can't pay for things. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I don't understand why it's okay for a government entity to do that. Actually, it's not okay for a government entity to do that, and I'll take that back. I understand why. Actually, I understand that it's not okay. I guess the frustration is to where are we going to complain? To whom are we going to complain? Where are we going to go to complain about the fact that the government isn't doing its job? We're not kicking these people out properly, guys. We're not voting them out. We're not holding them to account. Honestly, bring back tar and feathering. Some of these people need it. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I can't get away with it. Not that I want to, not that I have a desire to do so, but I couldn't get away with it. You can't get away with it, but apparently our government can get away with it because they're the ones who are enforcing it. And so they don't see a penalty for their actions. They're not going to get a penalty for their actions because they're the ones who penalize. So I say we bring back tar and feathering. I say we go to the polls and or to the voter booths, and we actually vote these people out and get new people in who are willing to do their jobs. That's my thought on that. Sports. A couple of things in sports that I want to bring up. Recently, the New York Jets have been in a tailspin since Aaron Rodgers is no longer their quarterback and Zach Wilson isn't cutting it. But what do? Dramatically, that they think is going to change the entire dynamic of the team. So dramatic. They had a team meeting and the team did what? They cut their third string running back. I can't make that up. They cut their third string running back, Michael Carter. They cut him from the team. And you're going to tell me that that's going to make the difference? Now, I'm not saying I am by any means an NFL quality quarterback. I'm not. But neither is Zach Wilson. He has proven over the years he cannot lead a team. And he may have been okay. We don't know. He didn't get the benefit of having the ability to sit under Aaron Rodgers' tutelage this season because of Aaron Rodgers' injury. That's what happens, and he couldn't step up. But the Jets somehow think that cutting their third string running back is going to fix all of their offensive problems. Good luck. Speaking of football, the Cleveland Browns' Deshaun Watson is out for the season. He's going to have shoulder surgery. Yes, that Deshaun Watson, the embattled and controversial Deshaun Watson, 26 counts, I believe, of sexual assault. Even if the assault part isn't all the way clear, to have 26 of them, all massage parlor people, he's a disgusting individual. The Cleveland Browns are stuck, and stinks to be them, because they are into him for $230 million guaranteed. This is why I don't like guaranteed contracts. I can't get a guaranteed contract from where I work just in case I get hurt. You still owe me millions of dollars. And don't you go with, well, they're athletes, they could ruin their career. I don't care. They're athletes playing a game. Shut up. They are not as important as we want to think. They're playing a game. $230 million guaranteed. He gets to sit back and, suffer no consequences for his actions for being a disgusting human being. And the Browns are stuck with him, at least with the bill, because they were dumb enough to pay him $230 million guaranteed. These guaranteed, I get some of it, because you want to protect a player to a degree, but to guarantee an entire contract and not have milestones in that contract to protect the team, because we're all about the selfishness of the players. We're all about that and getting what's theirs. But we're seeing what's happening is these potentially good players who are getting guaranteed contracts are stinking it up like they are doing. Deshaun Watson, as the Cleveland Browns have somewhat won a couple of games this year, he's still not out of the box $230 million money. Not a lot of them are the guaranteed money they're getting. As a matter of fact, most of them are not. So, Cleveland. You're out $230 million because he's not a good quarterback. He was never a good quarterback. He had some potential, but he has shown he's not that good of a quarterback. But you paid him $230 million. Oops. Potential. We don't have him going somewhere else and winning 6 Super Bowls. Not everybody is a Tom Brady. Not everybody is a Patrick Mahomes. And even Tom Brady didn't get a whole lot of money. He knew winning meant sacrifice, and he sacrificed a lot of his big paydays so that the Patriots could put on extra people to help him win. That's just the way it goes. That's just the way it goes. I don't understand why. I'm sorry. I use the phrase I don't understand. I do understand. It's greed. It's absolute, utter greed and a lack of self-control and a lack of a aversion to instant gratification. We want what we want now. We see these things on TV and we want that. We don't understand that it's not all about the money. Money helps. Don't get me wrong. They say money can't buy happiness. And we get all that. I get all that. and I get that money helps. Having a good amount of money helps, but he's a miserable human being. He does miserable stuff. Speaking of Deshaun Watson. So, it's not worth it. It's definitely not worth it. Definitely not worth it. Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it has done something for me that I think is absolutely fantastic. And I'll tell you this. How many times do you watch a video and an ad pops up, or you're playing a game and an ad pops up and you can't get out of it? You're set for 30 seconds or what have you. And it's annoying. And it's irritating. And you can't just, you want it done. I love the way X does it. And it's every few, what have you, posts, but you get an ad. Ding, an ad. And I love it. I absolutely love it for a couple of reasons. One, it's not intrusive enough to me to where I'm like, oh my gosh. I can scroll past it if I want. I can scroll past it all I want. And two, it's actually pretty nice to see an ad about something so odd, so trivial, in the midst of a lot of negativity. Now, let me give you an example of some of these ads. I took screenshots of them on my phone. I emailed them to myself. So I'll go through what I can go through. So here we got one here. It's for like school teaching, how to teach writing and proper writing skills. Dude, okay, that works for me. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with things working that way. That's kind of how I learned how to read and write. Here's one: windproof and waterproof gloves. I mean, I don't think I'll ever be in the negative 22 degree Fahrenheit environment, but by golly, when I am, or if I'm ever in that environment, I want to be able to use my phone because I can still touch with a kind of a glove on. This was an active ad for a vest that allows you to keep yourself warm. I like it, and you could dip this thing in water. That's what the cool thing was. That's what the part of this that was showing you was you could dip it in water and it'd still work. I'm okay with that. Here's another cool thing. I don't know if you guys like engraved stuff or carved out stuff, but this is, if you live near a lake, by all means, it's pretty cool. I think it's absolutely stunning the way that the details on some of this stuff. You can put this wherever you want and have fun with it. I think that's kind of cool. Just being able to scroll through and, hey, see something like this go on with it. I like it. Hey, if you're ever in the need of a pair of pants, I guess Huckberry is the place to go. They got 12 colors and 30 sizes. They're not a sponsor or anything, but I mean, heck, I think it's pretty cool just scrolling through and seeing a pair of pants just come up on your screen for an ad. That's I don't know if I'll ever go to the site and check it out or what have you, but by all means, that's pretty cool. Hey, if you want muscles, this is what you do. By age group. I see them all the time. There's different spots for this. This just happens to be a 28-day Marine challenge. I think it's pretty interesting. Just another random ad that just comes through. This brightens your day. Shoes. Go back to the pants, and here you go. You got shoes to go with them. So you can match your shoes with your pants. Different company, but hey, if you want to work out with some shoes and you got these shoes on, some be styling, by all means, go for it. I think it's pretty cool that shoes show up in my feed. Hey, I'm not close to it, but if you want to plan for your retirement, you can go here and plan for your retirement. Apparently Lloyd, which I guess is this guy, with a pretty gnarly looking beard, he is going to retire at 68 with an annual income of $43,000 because he went to Planswell. I don't know what Planswell is. I don't know if I'm going to ever look, but hey, Lloyd did it, and he's going to be able to retire. So that's, if you're ever looking into how to retire. This was another one of those moving ads. Apple is producing their iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max. By all means, it was a pretty cool little looking commercial. It kind of caught my eye. I'm not a fan of Apple products. I don't do that. I'm a Samsung guy myself, but this was a pretty cool commercial, and it was a nice break in my little Twitter feed. More gloves. This one was showing water being poured over. Another one, moving one, water being poured over here. So that's definitely a waterproof glove. Look at this sweater. If you want to look rugged, that's what I'm kind of thinking. Get this sweater. That's what that sweater looks like to me. Because if you want to look rugged, get this sweater. I don't know. Here's another one. If you want to, again, it's in the name, suave. You can, this little cool little jacket, little spice things up a little bit. If you want to look suave, that's the jacket to wear. And they just, Sharp Suave, I guess there you go. That's that perfect name for the company, because that's what you want. Speaking of coats, jackets, this is the do-all, end-all, the last jacket you'll ever need. Comes in all sorts of colors. But hey, you know, if you're an outdoorsman, another jacket for you. Again, more signs. I might look into this because I like Bigfoot, if you haven't noticed the shirt that I'm wearing. But they got, you know, you can do a Bigfoot sign. So it's kind of cool to see little things that are you know, through your feed. Hats. You can see I have a hat, but this is one of those that multi-purpose. You can keep your face warm, your ears warmer. If it's, you know, a warm cold outside, you can put the flaps up and be okay with it. Cool to see in the middle of your Twitter feed. This, another sharp-dressed man-looking type of a coat. It's like you're going out on a really cool, awesome, hot date, and you want to be stylish. That's the coat. That's the coat right there for you. But that catches your eye. I like that. More pants. And apparently this is for 90-degree weather. So these jeans aren't your typical jeans that keep you hot and sweaty. These, I guess, are jeans for if you're really, 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 you know, hot outside and you don't want to sweat a bunch. There you go. More pants. Can't have enough pants. Cool little things like this, decorations. You know, this is another one that I might actually go look into, because this is one of those things where I like those kind of decorations, those little niche-key type things. It's niche-key, not niche type of things. But that, you know, those types of things catch your eye. So I like those kind of things. One of those, you know, those thoughts that when you're doing those things, scrolling through, one, they're not annoying. They're not annoying at all. I can do what I want to do. I can scroll past them if I want to, or I can stop and look at them if I want to. And they're entertaining to a degree amongst a lot of tweets that can be down and out. You're getting some of the news feeds in there, and you're getting some of this negativity, and a lot of the stuff you do need to know. Like, I mean, you get reports on what's going on in Israel, and you get reports of what's going on locally or what have you, and sometimes those things can get you down, but you're scrolling through, finding something that just breaks that monotony, the doldrum out of it. I think is pretty cool. So X, good on you. Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro. I like listening to the both of them. And this last week, I've been getting bits and pieces of the story. And apparently Ben Shapiro said that he didn't like Candace Owens' opinion on what was going on in Israel. Here's my thoughts on this. I don't like what's going on in Israel. I don't like the fact that Hamas is terrorizing Israeli citizens because they want to wipe them off the planet because they're Jews. I think it's disgraceful as well that Hamas is targeting civilians. But I also understand where Candace is coming from. She doesn't want the U.S. involved in another foreign conflict. You can argue about the foreign conflicts we've been in on the last 25 years. And I do not like war. I'm not a fan of it. My one I'll say this. Out of all the wars we've been involved with, or all the armed conflicts, I should say, that we've been involved with in the last 25 years, the one that I truly actually do think maybe is worth supporting is Israel. Get us out of Ukraine. Get us out of a lot of other places. Israel is a much needed ally for us. On top of the fact that there are some other things going on, that it's not just territory issues like Ukraine and Russia, where military sides are fighting military sides. Hamas is wanting to exterminate Israel and the Jews. A whole lot different than territorial disputes and just wanting to defeat an army, regardless of what you think of what side is what, whether one side is right or not. Two completely different types of armed conflicts. And we're giving billions of dollars to Ukraine unnecessarily. One. Two, Israel doesn't want our help. I don't think they need our help. I think we have to just let them step back. I think we have to just step back and let them do what they need to do. Wipe out Hamas. But I do understand where Candace is coming from, where she doesn't want us involved in another foreign war. I get it. We're hemorrhaging money here in the States. We are. I just talked about financial irresponsibility earlier. I get it. And yes, she's saying, hey, why are we not raising red flags for for what's going on in the States? The uncontrolled border, the drug crisis, the trafficking issues, all of those things that are going on here, the social stuff. Well, Candace, you're doing that. You're doing that, Candace. You are the vocal instrument for that. Yes, there are a lot of us who do need more of that. But you, Candace, are the vocal instrument for that. And for the last however long, we've appreciated that out of you. And there are lawmakers who are focusing on those things. I mean, Ted Cruz on the border. I don't think a day goes by where I don't see a post on X from Ted Cruz talking about the border issues. Senator Hawley, the medical issues. The corruption issues. We are addressing those issues. So continue to do that. Yes, we do need to be concerned about those things. Yes, we do need to be thinking America first. And I understand why Candace is so passionate about it, because she's an American. As am I. I want America first, but I don't think anybody's understanding that she also, as a human being, feels for what's going on in Israel. But it is not as personal for her because she is not Israeli or Jewish. And so you have to understand there is a level of disconnect. I don't have the personal rage that Ben Shapiro does because it doesn't directly involve me. Am I angered over the situation? Yes. Do I want Hamas wiped out? Yes. Would I be willing to help Israel? Yes. In the sense of if I was the U.S. and they called NASTAs, yes. But I don't share the same because I'm not the same as Ben Shapiro. I can't empathize with him. I can sympathize, but I can't empathize with him. And so if And I don't know the whole story, which is one of the things that I want to point out is that's why I don't like this playing out in social media, because we don't know the whole story of who said what and when. We just got bits and pieces and clips. Honestly, nothing should have been said online. The two of them should have got together, hashed it out, agreed to disagree, and go their separate ways. On Tucker, she says they don't even interact very often because they're not in the same, they don't live and work in the same place. Okay, let that be. I don't understand why everybody's making a big deal of it. People can disagree. And, oh, Candace, is she going to lose her job? No, she's not. Can she leave? Yeah. Should she leave? I don't think she should. But the both of them, I think, need to just get together and hash it out. And then agree to disagree if they can't come to a mutual understanding. And then let that be that. Then let that be that. I don't. This arguing over social media. You're only getting clips and bits and pieces. And I like the both of them. Both of them are very intelligent individuals. Both of them speak very well about the topics that they cover. And both of them are very passionate about the topics that they cover. And so I would hate to see a separation because of a misunderstanding, or even an argument, or even a full-blown derogatory fight. They don't have to be friends for either of them to work at the Daily Wire. It's not a requirement. So I think everybody just needs to quiet down about it, especially with the speculation. Giving their opinion on the matter, that's fine, but their speculation of what's going to happen and let it play out. Honestly, I don't want to know. Just let it play out behind the scenes. Let it go. Let it go. On a final note, all those years ago, all those years ago, I remember one of the first things that my drill sergeants said to us as we were standing in our first formation in basic training. The quickest way to get through basic training is to graduate. What does he mean by that? Those 9 weeks, 10 weeks of basic training were for a lot of us extremely difficult because it was a dramatic change in lifestyle. Looking back on it, having been in for a while, deployment and stuff like that, go through and you go, you laugh at basic, but if you think back to when you were in, imagine having your life, your entire life, except for the fact of breathing, controlled by someone else. If they could control your breathing, they probably would. But with the exception of your breathing, you slept when they told you to sleep. You woke up when they told you to woke up. You ate when they told you to ate. You ran when they told you to ran. You picked things up when they told you to pick it up. You put them down when you told them. You went to the bathroom when they told you to go to the bathroom. You blinked when they told you to blink because you couldn't move at times. You did push-ups when they told you to do push-ups. Everything you did was ordered by someone else, with the exception of breathing. And it is a dramatic change for some people. A lot of people. And what happens is, you get people who think, I don't want to do this anymore, so they feign injury, mental issues, and they go stop for a while. And then what happens is they miss too much training and they get recycled and got to start over again and do the hard stuff all over again. The push-ups, the sit-ups, the running, the controlled environment all over again. And they keep perpetuating that cycle. And they're like, why can't this be over? And it rings true. The quickest way to get through basic training is to graduate. To get through the hard part of the training, the initial training, is to graduate. It's just suck it up and do it. Pull your bootstraps up and go do it. It's raining outside, guess what? It's not going to exclude you from going into the pit and rolling around. Just do it. Just do it. And so why do I say that? I say that because in life, we go through difficult times. It's not necessarily always military. It could be family issues. It could be work issues. It could be friendship issues, relationship issues of that nature. Combinations of all of the above. And you're going through these hard times and you just want to quit. And so you got to sometimes say to yourself, the quickest way to get through this is to graduate. And how does that translate? Okay, well, the way to get through this is to deal with it. It's unpleasant, but deal with it. It may take some time, but deal with it. Don't push it off till later. If you need to take a break, take a quick break, breather, take a knee, as we call it in the Army. We say take a knee, drink some water, and get up and go. But deal with it. Don't push it off to the side and let it fester. Deal with it. If you're having trouble with friends or your family members, your relationships, don't be scared to confront the problem. Not in an aggressive, angry manner, but be smart about it. Learn. Communicate. The troubles at work, whether it be you're not getting ahead as you think you should, or your car's breaking down, or all these things that could happen to you. You're running low on finances, and now we're coming up on the holiday season, and people are away from their loved ones, and they're having a hard time dealing with things. And don't push it aside. Deal with it. Come up with ways to deal with the things that you need to deal with, and get through it. And if you need help, ask for it. Because it's a whole lot easier to carry a huge weight if you got some help for you. And why do I say all that? Because at the beginning, you saw what we do in life echoes in eternity. It's a saying from a movie, and yeah, but think about it for a second. What you do now echoes to the third and the fourth generation. The way you do things is the example of what your children see and other young people see, if you don't have kids yet, and those around you see. That makes that difference. And then they pass it on to the next, and they pass that on to the next, and they pass it on to the next. What I have in this life, the cars that I have, or the houses that I have lived in, or the stuff that I've accumulated, doesn't matter. My kids and their kids may remember that a few things about some of the things that I had, because hey, he liked baseball, so baseball bats or cards or whatever, but they're not going to care about that. What What did granddad do? Well, he cared for others. You know what he taught me? He taught granddad, and granddad taught dad, and dad taught me, was when you're going through a line at a grocery store, smile at the cashier. Well, you know what? You know what great granddad taught me? Through granddad and through dad and then me? Hey, if I do the little things like make my bed every morning, I can make a difference in this world. If I put my head down and work hard, I can make a difference in this world. I was reminded by a pastor a while back. He said, one of the things he would say to some people is, don't make me lie at your funeral. Don't make me make things up to make people think that you were a good person. Be that good person. Go and be that good person so that I can't run out of good things to say about you when your time comes. Imagine that. Deal with things. What we do now, how we behave now, our attitudes now, our character now, echoes through eternity. It doesn't determine, our actions and our deeds don't determine what happens in our afterlife. But the echo remains there for future generations to hear and to, with the technology we have today, to see what we've done. Are they going to see people who give up because it's tough and they get recycled, so to speak, and have to go through the same troubles over and over and over again? Or are they going to see people who graduate, so to speak, when they get through the difficult times and they plan and they train and they study and they learn and they ask for help and they get through the difficult times and they enjoy the good times and they celebrate the good times and they pass those on to the next generation? What we do in life echoes through eternity. So with that being said, I am all out for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Everything we've discussed is in the links, is in the description. The links are in the description for you. You can always follow this channel on X. You can follow me on Rumble as well. I'm there, maybe branching out in the future to other social media issues. Stay tuned for that possibility. We've got some exciting things ahead. I can't wait. Again, thanks for stopping by. Go ahead, leave a comment. Tell me how you liked it or disliked it, whatever ideas and what have you. I'm open for all sorts of stuff. So I hope you have a good afternoon, evening, night, morning, afternoon, good midnight snack. I don't care as long as it's good. And I'll catch you guys all on the flip side.